it was such a frustrating struggle for me to try to get the people in. We had some amazing nights, one-off nights. We had Houdini, who had like a massive track with Magic Swan. They came and played live. And Nutriment, who were a British act, who'd had like a really big tune with London Bridges Falling Down, who brought some break dancers. And that was a night Broken Glass, the break crew from Manchester, really kind of came into their own and announced themselves and basically became like local celebrities at the Hacienda, almost like the in-house crew. I'd also do the Saturday nights for an hour just to try and introduce the people to the music I was playing on the Friday, and Broken Glass would come and dance. They had a lot to do with the integration of the black crowd into the Hacienda and giving it a kind of more of a street edge. And that would work after I'd finished, which was the end of '83. Mike Pickering would take over that night. That would become Nude Night on the Friday. And they would bit by bit pull in more of this black crowd. People like Gerald Simpson, a guy called Gerald, he was a jazz dancer initially and, you know, big into the electro scene. And he loved going in there because it was quiet and there was loads of dance space that he could use the dance floor. The other big thing from when I was there was the DJ booth was a nightmare. It was in a room down some stairs to the side of the stage. And you were below the dance floor. You were looking out through like a little window at people's legs. So to get a vibe of it, you had to kind of go up these stairs and look over on the stage and come back down. The mixer was up here. The decks were here. It was madness. I was saying to them all the time, I was saying, you've got to move this and this. No, this mixer's, it's the best. We've been told it's the best. And it's like, it's a nightmare, you know. I'm working at Legend where everything's perfect. I've got 3 1200s. The whole thing's set up for the DJ. It's beautiful. And I'm having to kind of use a mixer up here. Eventually they changed that and they moved the DJ booth onto the balcony, and that was the iconic place where any of the footage that you see from the classic Hacienda era. So they started to get bits and bobs right that they got wrong in the first place. They never got the sound right. And I think that was because it was such a huge chasm of a building. They never quite got that right. People forget, people think maybe the Hacienda exploded in 1988, when Ecstasy came on the scene, but that Friday night was doing really big business from the mid-80s onwards. And, again, Mike Pickering has often said, that maybe they got it, the most precious time was then, because it wasn't just house that was being played, it was hip hop, it was street soul, it was bits of jazz. It was like what we were playing at Legend. We didn't just play one style, we were kind of coming from a spectrum, and that was always the way on the black scene.